Welcome to today's daily news analysis. As always, we are doing the Hindu newspapers Delhi edition. So let us look at the front page. So first we have an update on yesterday's news. So yesterday we heard that Goa Congress MLAs, so Congress MLAs in Goa basically, they decided to defect to BJP. So this was there about 8 out of 11 MLAs. So they had defected. So today we hear that these MLAs have actually decided the merger of their political party with the BJP. So a merger has taken place. Now this is important. Why have they merged with this thing? See, we have an anti-defection law. So to curb the practice of defection, of course. So if defection takes place, if a certain MLA decides that, okay, from Congress, I'll go to the BJP, then in that case, they can be disqualified. That means they will lose the membership of the legislature, or of the membership of the House. But there is an exception to this rule, anti-defection law. The exception is that if 2/3 members of a political party decide to merge means be part of the other faction, right? If they say that we are BJP only now. So in that case, 2/3 members join. In that case, it will not be counted as defection. So this thing is there. Right, so this is why it is important. Rest we have to study the defection thing again, so that has to be done. Okay, Soren seeks Jharkhand's chief minister seeks clarity from governor about what, remember some time back there was a controversy of office of profit. The chief minister of Jharkhand, there was an allegation that he has violated the norm of office of profit and he should be disqualified. Disqualified again means that the chief minister will lose the membership of the legislature. Okay. Now, how is this decided? Office of profit violation has taken place or not? So it's the Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India which decides this, and then they send their recommendation to the governor if it is with reference to a state. If it was at the level of union, then it will be president. Okay. So Soren says that, your political party, BJP, were talking about it, members were talking about it. So there is confusion. Why don't you bring the office of profit thing again, right? Why don't you give a clarity on this issue? Clarify the air. So that is what he's saying. But yes, for our perspective, office of profit should be analyzed from mains perspective. And this is one of the grounds for disqualification. So that is a pre-point. Now this news is interesting. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister launches the breakfast scheme. We already have in our country a state-sponsored, central-sponsored scheme known as midday meal. So when we have the tiffin break, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever time. So that time lunch will be prepared. But breakfast is also a very important meal. I think this breakfast is said to be the most important meal. So Tamil Nadu state will be providing free breakfast, right? So that will be provided. And so that's the thing. And the name of the scheme is nothing complex. Chief Minister's Breakfast Scheme. Simple. Now what I was thinking from the point of view was, and there are a lot of articles also. Now one of the things that arises, is this a freebie? Is it an irrational freebie? Why am I saying this? Because the Chief Justice of India, the former Chief Justice of India, Justice Ramanna. So some petition had come and he said, yes, we need to look into the issue of irrational freebies being offered by the several political parties to gain elections. Now, is this an irrational freebie? Is this serving a social perspective, social angle over here? Because, if proper meal is provided to the children, it is welfare. So you have to look at this. I mean, should there be a norm to cancel freebies and all? So this is a very important thing to be considered. In fact, you can think about it and share your views with me on my Telegram or on the comment section. Okay. Delay in government's flagship Pradhan Mantri Awas Grameen Yojna. Oh, sorry, Awas Yojna Grameen. So Awas means house. So I think that should be clear, right? So that should make it easy. Awas means house. Okay. And there are two schemes. So one is Grameen and other is urban. Okay, so this makes it simple. And these two schemes are being implemented by different governments or different ministries at the level of center. And another thing before going into the news, this is a centrally sponsored scheme. That is, it is an initiative of the center, union government, but it is implemented by the state. And the center provides a part of the funding, about 60-70% it provides to the states, and the rest is contributed by the state. Okay. So what this news is saying is, it's specifically talking about the Grameen Yojna, that is rural, which is coming under Ministry of Rural Development. So it is saying that center is giving you money to implement this scheme. So the money has been taken, but the progress is very, very slow. So progress is slow. So in that regard, penalties may be invoked. So in those states which are performing poorly, penalties would be invoked. So this scheme was launched in 2015. Since the scheme started in 2016, so since 2016, the target was to create 2.95 crore houses. So 2.95 crore houses by 2022. Please, this is important. Until now, we have 2.02 crore houses being built. So at the present moment, we are in 2022, right? So we're short of 1 crore houses, almost a crore of houses. It goes without saying, population is also increasing. Okay, right? So we get some facts about the scheme, about the performance of the scheme actually. Yeah, so where were we on this thing? Yeah. So, and we can also say that certain states are performing poorly, right? Not like we have so many states in our country, some states would be doing well, some states would be doing badly. Now they're saying, this article is saying that particularly West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, so all non-BJP states, they are responsible for bulk of the delays. So it may invoke penalties. Okay. Now you are required, I mean, from exam perspective, obviously, it is not a bad idea to prepare an appraisal, prepare a note, which is talking about how the scheme has been performing, what are the shortcomings of the scheme, benefits and shortcomings of the scheme. So that you should do. Then obviously from the pre perspective, by the way, when you prepare this mains answer, your pre is automatically taken care of. Now from pre perspective, you should have those things ready, like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojna Grameen is associated with which ministry? Urban is associated with which ministry? Urban, by the way, it's Ministry of Urban Development. Does this include rental accommodation? It includes actually. Earlier it did not include, so that's why I'm saying affordable rental housing. You can go to the website and see it for yourself actually. See these points over here. So that will help you. Right, so this is your homework. These things over here, this is your homework. Right, so likewise for state, this is the PIB and yeah, landless module. So even those who do not have a land, they will also be provided housing. So some special provision should be that will be done. Emphasis on e-ticketing. I think e-ticketing will be aware of, and we give our email when we raise a complaint, we get an e-ticket. That action will be taken. Aadhaar-based payment system, etc. Okay, so we're done with this, right? We're done with this. You can search yourself. This is not very difficult. Okay, this news again is important. This news, why is it important? The third, aim in conciliation. Please read this. I'm erasing this in the meantime. Okay. See, in GS3, internal security, Northeast is a very important theme. So questions on Northeast are asked. And they're not asking, like I was hoping, like I was expecting questions on Assam Accords or Pru issue. So specific issues, no. Collectively, they are asking about Northeast. Maybe this trend is changed, but collectively, Northeast. So what this article is doing is, it is providing you with rich facts. It is providing, the minister is saying that since 2014, what improvements have been made in this time period. So this is important because when you're writing your answer, you need facts. You need your facts. You'll say, okay, fine, there is improvement. These are the shortcomings. You need facts to substantiate. So here we have the points. I have shared this on the Instagram, maybe on the Telegram also. So same IASPrimers page. Okay, so from there you can get this. So overall, basically good things are there. That's why the minister is saying it. Okay, so yeah, that's the main idea. And why was he saying? What was the context of the statement or the facts that he's giving? So this was basically, he was in Assam. So this was about a tripartite memorandum of settlement. So tripartite means settlement between the three. Okay. So union government, center, Mr. Amit Shah is there, so obviously union government, the state government of Assam, and 8 armed Adivasi groups. So 3 groups, 3 people are there. Then obviously the one more issue is AFSPA, should it be removed or not from the Northeast? So that is always an issue. Okay, let's move forward now. Yeah, I think you can see the state news, nothing really to elaborate on this. This thing is important for pre actually. I feel pre. We can always make it for mains also. GS3, if we look at mains. So a compensatory afforestation in other states likely. So this is basically an exclusive relaxation being given to the state of Delhi, which is also a city state actually. So Delhi can do compensatory afforestation in other states. That's what it's saying. Okay, so let's do this concept. So first we get this term compensatory afforestation. So basic thing is, I'll do with the news only. So in Delhi, there is an agency known as Delhi Development Authority. As the name suggests, they are responsible for creation of housing, etc., housing offices, etc. They build buildings, roads. Okay, so DDA agency, they said, this is an old news. They said that we need more land. Now, this city, Delhi, is heavily densely populated. We don't have spare land. So, but we do have certain lands which are not occupied. You can see the photo. You can see the forest area. So we can use the existing forest, right? We can use the land. We can clear this land. But the law says that if you clear land for any other activity, if you divert this land, then in that case, you have to engage in compensatory afforestation. That is, if this land was being occupied, this was a forest, and you say, okay, fine, I want to build houses over here for people, for welfare needs. So this equivalent amount of land should be identified and it should be afforested. So new forest should be created in that area. So this can be on the basis of land for land or trees for trees. So this requirement is coming from a law known as Forest Conservation Act. As the name goes, it is about conservation of forest. But sometimes land is not there. So in that case, it says, okay, fine, no issues. You can do compensatory afforestation. Now Delhi was saying that within our state, we don't have land for compensatory afforestation also, because we're densely populated. So they were asking permission from the union. So DDA went to the union, Ministry of Environment, and they said, please grant us permission to do compensatory afforestation in the neighboring states. So this relaxation, exclusive relaxation, has been made to this. Okay, so you get it. Forest Conservation Act provides for compensatory afforestation. Now, why do I say that can be asked in pre? Because it is confusing. There is another law known as CAMPA. Not Campa Cola, CAMPA. Compensatory Afforestation Act. So Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act. So sometimes the agency, DDA for example, let's say DDA or Adani, whosoever, they are not able to identify alternative land, not even in other states. Then what they can do is, they can, under this law known as CAMPA, it says that if land for land or trees for trees are not possible, then the agency, let's say private enterprise like Adani was there in news actually for the same, that's why I'm saying. So they can give monetary amount which would have been spent on afforestation activities, or the value of the land that can be given to the CAMPA, this fund, and this fund can use it for compensatory afforestation. So government will do the rest. Okay, so we are done with this news. Let's move forward. Okay, nothing. Our children will make India number one. So Delhi government, basically competitive exams, Delhi government schools have done well. Okay, so culture news. This is about move to pick Gujarat based on expert advice. Fine, not interested. What we are interested in is semiconductor plant. So semiconductor manufacturing in India. Yeah. Why is it important? Why should we manufacture semiconductors in our country? That is the thing. What is the government doing to promote semiconductor manufacturing in our country? So what is the government doing? We'll get it from the PIB. Today I'm not sharing that. So what is the government doing about this? Okay, so these are two major things. Okay. First, why? Semiconductors are required in multiple things, particularly electronics. And now electronics are not just mobile phones, computers, etc., but also your automobiles. They are also having computers inside it, so they need semiconductors. So this is important. And we need to be self-reliant. So one is we need to be self-reliant. Presently, semiconductors are predominantly coming from China. Now let's say tomorrow we have a tension with China and China says we'll not provide you semiconductor. What will happen to our automobile sector? What will happen to our electronic sector? It's not bad. It's very bad. So this affects our economic security, and our economic security is affecting national security. And I'm not saying that China can do this. This is not hypothetical. It did this with Japan. So with Japan, it has the dispute with reference to islands. So they said, okay, fine, we'll not give you semiconductors. Do what you want. So Japan had to concede. So this is very important. Okay, so this is one issue. Then if we want electronics manufacturing in a country, for example, mobile phone manufacturing in a country, we do have it, but we are basically assembling phones. We are assembling electronics. So things come from outside, we merely assemble it, which is of no much use, right? What we want is electronic manufacturing in the purest form. That is all the things, accessories or not accessories, the things that are there in the mobile or electronics, the parts. Actually, the term is ancillary. So ancillaries should be made in the country only. And for that, we need semiconductor manufacturing also within the country. Because why is China dominating? China is Ulta Sea, right? So coastal China is where your mobile phones, etc., are being manufactured. Why is it taking place? Good logistics, availability of semiconductors nearby, chip manufacturers. So that is nearby. So if the same ecosystem is created in India, then India also will have electronics manufacturing, but we are not able to do this. So for that, we need to have semiconductors. So that is a thing. Okay, US now sometime back, and that is the start of this year actually, there was semiconductor shortage. So that time US also realized that we need to do something about semiconductor. We need to promote the sector. So CHIPS Act was introduced. It's there in today's news actually. That's why I remember. And European Union also was doing something about semiconductor manufacturing. So they are very conscious about this over dependence on China. So especially after the shortage, they realized how important these are. Okay, let's move to the next news. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Fine. What we are interested in is World Ozone Day. So Friday, September 16th is World Ozone Day. Will anybody ask you? Maybe yes. RBI exam, state CSE exam, something like that. They can ask you. But how is it important from UPSC perspective? So there are two ways in which question can be asked. One is GS1, geography. The reasons responsible for ozone layer depletion. If I do this, it will take me good 15 minutes. I'm not doing this today. Right, so ozone layer depletion from geography perspective. What are the geographical phenomena because of which ozone layer depletion takes place? So that is one. If a question is being asked from international relations point of view, for example, to deal with ozone layer depletion, there is something known as Montreal Protocol. So Montreal Protocol. That is all countries, world countries agreed, okay, fine, we need to deal with this issue of ozone layer depletion. It's a serious issue. So they came together. There was a consensus, and that is known as Montreal Protocol. This is asked in the repeated type of a question. Okay, from mains perspective, that is the issues and challenges with Montreal Protocol that can come in this thing. And one thing about Montreal Protocol, again, I want to say is that Montreal Protocol is an exception amongst so many conventions and protocols, that this has been successful. No convention has been so successful as the Montreal Protocol. So I feel from GS2 perspective, IR perspective, it can be asked. It's a theme that affects environment, but I have seen previous year questions on conventions are being asked in GS2. For example, climate change, WTO, etc. They come in GS2. Because there is international relations also. And GS3, of course, environment. From environment perspective also, it can be asked. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule, but presently that is what is happening. So these questions are coming in GS2. Okay, Kerala government is attempting to legalize all illegalities. Imagine the governor saying this, right? So this reflects tensions between the governor and the elected representatives. Kerala government is elected political representatives, fine. So so tensions between the governor and elected representatives. What are the reasons for it? What are the discretionary powers of the governor? These are the things that we have to focus from GS2 mains perspective. This is not something specific for pre. You should prepare it from mains perspective. This is one issue. There are a number of issues that keep taking place, right? Okay. And there is no point going deeper into what is happening over here. Likewise, we have today now anti-conversion bill. So in Karnataka, there are two houses. So the Legislative Council has passed this anti-conversion bill, and now it will go to the State Legislative Assembly. And if you have read polity, you'll be aware that it is actually the State Legislative Assembly which calls the shots. Okay, at the level of states. Okay, so no reference of the state anti-conversion bill. It's all talking about what fight took place. This party did this, that party did that. No discussion on anti-conversion bill, so I'm not doing this. A beautiful resort, but demolition will take place over there, right? I was hoping, it's a good place for vacation plan. Yeah. Okay. This is important from pre-perspective. Restored Qutub Shahi tombs will make case for heritage city. So obviously, art and culture, it can be asked in prelims, right? So we should have it prepared. So the questions on Qutub Shahi dynasty, Qutub Shahi tombs, right? So where they buried their leaders. So Qutub Shahi dynasty, we can read about it. And I referred to the wiki page. I've liked it. So from there we can read it. And specifically the contributions of Qutub Shahi dynasty in the realm of culture, so art and culture. Then again, this thing can be asked they can ask you to elaborate it in the GS1 mains paper. Okay, I'll show you something. You get this idea, right? What they're saying. Restored Qutub Shahi tombs will make case for heritage city. That is Hyderabad getting the status of a heritage city. So I have shared this thing with you on my Telegram channel also, and I think Instagram. So this page is there. My idea is to have a reference place actually where we can have these notes, so whenever you have something, these things are available in some place. So Instagram is good for sharing images. Telegram, I'm doing it, but you'll not be able to find it later. Okay. Yeah, so what was I saying? So first I want to show the Qutub Shahi dynasty, right? So I want to do that. So see, it's so easy, so convenient. So first of all, this is time period is 15th century. It is 1400s. You can see here also it's mentioned. So even if we didn't read it, we have it over here. So it was after the collapse of the Bahmani Sultanate. So Bahmani Sultanate was there over the entire region actually, south of Narmada, Deccan region. So Chalukyas were there, then they were replaced. Bahmanis had come up. So Bahmanis had disintegrated and multiple sultanates had emerged. About 4 or 5 sultanates had emerged. One dynasty was Qutub Shahi dynasty, established in 1512 AD. Right, established in 1512 AD. Okay. And it came to an end during the time of Aurangzeb. Okay, so we have brief history over here. We can see it. What interested me was the culture component. contributions of Qutub Shahi in culture, that can also be asked. Now, from pre-perspective, I wanted to say actually, so I want to show you certain things like, state Indologist Richard Eaton considering the rulers as Telugu Sultans. So the term Telugu Sultans is associated with which of the following dynasties? A, B, C, D. So such question can be asked. Then an ancient Sanskrit text written during this time, an ancient Sanskrit text on love and sex, Ratir Rahasya by Kokoka. I don't know the pronunciation, I apologize for that. Okay. Then Lazat un Nisa, flavors of women. Then it is talking about architecture, and mind you, there is a book, 11th book. So there is a chapter on Indo-Islamic architecture. So yeah, so there also you have it. And it is the Qutub Shahi rulers that built the Charminar. Right, so Charminar was built by whom? So we have this over here. Yeah, so we're done with this Qutub Shahi, right? They promoted Telugu language, so their main contribution. In fact, all these languages actually they come during the medieval times. Okay, now we're talking about heritage city status to whom? To the city of Hyderabad. So it is provided by the UNESCO World Heritage Convention. So there are World Heritage sites are there actually. So about 40 World Heritage sites are there in our country at this moment. And within this, they also provide the status of heritage city. So first let us look at this, which all cities are there. So we have the historic city of Ahmedabad, then Delhi, Jaipur, Rajasthan, right? So they have been given the status of temple cities. Then Bhubaneswar and the Victorian art and ensemble of Mumbai. Right, so based on heritage, this sometimes also for music or whatever. So on that basis, they are being given this status. Why? It is for providing a framework for urban heritage conservation, and second is for providing technical assistance, right, in implementation of new approaches, etc. So building and cooperation. And one more benefit. Why would the state of Hyderabad, the state of Telangana say that Hyderabad should be given heritage city status? Tourists will come, right? So that's always a boon for the economy. Okay, so Bhagwan Vishwakarma ji today. Fine. Yeah, let's look at curse of Goa. I'm not doing it. So I'm very clear. We have to just study defection. I've not read this, but I'll tell you the important points overall. So one is parliamentary business and an essential pit stop. That essential pit stop is basically is committees, that the bills should be referred to the parliamentary committees. So the importance and significance of parliamentary committees in the process of lawmaking. Why is it important? So this is a theme that I feel is important from GS2 perspective, of course, so that is clear. Other thing is, if we just look at this over here, so this gives us an effectiveness of parliament. So these two topics are there. I don't have a video sadly on this thing. Maybe on other channels are there, but on committees at the moment I don't have. I'll have to make a video on this. So I'll make it, I have the slides ready. So one day I'll make the video of this. Right, but I think you can read this article. Climate action that runs on cooperative federalism, fine. We don't really have to read much on this thing. So you can see halfway I've read. Okay. So yeah, basically what they're saying is, you must have seen those e-buses, that green color buses are there. Okay. So normally these buses, urban transport, is the domain of the state governments. So the state Haryana Roadways Transport Corporation, PPSU, Punjab Roadways, something like that. Okay, so states are running these buses. So states need to buy these buses. So state, let's say multiple states are there. Multiple states, they will all say that, see, we also want e-bus, we also want e-bus, we also want e-bus. Okay, we want to upgrade our bus infra. Now, the states, typically the states buy the buses themselves. So they will contact Tata, Ashok Leyland, whichever person is there, companies there, they negotiate with them. Now what is happening is cooperative federalism. The union says, you know what, we know that we need to move towards e-mobility. And we have a scheme also known as FAME, that is faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles, hybrid and electric vehicles. And there is a scheme also of ours known as National Motion on Electric Mobility. So since we already have the scheme, we can provide you e-buses. So electric buses we can provide you. Fine. So the idea is that the union government buys in bulk. It gives that order in bulk. For example, the state says, oh, I need 1,000 buses. So not much incentive, but union says, you know what, I can give the company an order of 50,000 buses. So they can negotiate much better. So on much better deals, the union can grant buses to these states. Fine. So this is a win-win situation for states as well as the union. But then union says that why should I give this state so many buses, this state so many buses? And what is the incentive for the union to allocate buses? So union says, you know what, your state transport, this thing is not good. If you improve, then like if you increase the road fares, if you provide better infrastructure, then we will provide you more number of buses. So this is known as grand challenge. So it's basically incentivizing the states or creating a competitive spirit among the states that they should compete. They're competing for meeting better standards. So they're providing better standards and union will allocate buses accordingly. So this is an example of competitive federalism. And also an example of cooperative federalism where the state and center are cooperating on a common issue. The next one, that is which is basically an explainer on the Eastern Economic Forum and India's Balancing Act. Fine. So let's look at the first one over here. So Russia is a very big country. So Russia, a big country. Imagine this is Russia. So the eastern side, Russia wants to draw investment over here, and this place is having a lot of resources. So it has, first of all, it is sparsely populated. Then it has riches and resources which contribute to 5% of Russia's GDP. So which resources primarily when we talk about Russia? Gas, energy resources, plus obviously mines and minerals. So they are available over here. Plus it is strategically located. So the eastern part of Russia, strategically located. It is also known as the gateway into Asia. So Russia, through the Eastern Economic Forum, wants to draw investments to the far east side of Russia. So that is the idea. India also wants to partner, and India wants to intensify its relations with Russia. It has always been saying that India's relation with Russia has been, we all agree that it is defense oriented. So we want to widen this. We should not be only about defense, but other areas also. So we are looking at the Eastern Economic Forum. Prime Minister Modi said that we are ready in expanding trade, connectivity and investments in Russia. One place is Eastern Economic Forum. Okay, so it's basically a Russia-led initiative over here, right? So, okay. So what is the problem now? Other countries are also doing, Japan, China, obviously Russia relations are very good. So what is the problem? The problem is that Russia is reeling under sanctions. So Russia is having sanctions over here, right? So obviously this is a problem. India wants to invest in Russia. So this is a problem. And India and USA are coming closer. So if India intensifies its relations with Russia, or if it intensifies its investments in the Eastern Economic Forum, it will lead to tensions in India-US relationship. And India needs both Russia and USA. And hence we are talking about the Balancing Act. In fact, India has already withdrawn. There is a reference of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. So I read somewhere that India has already withdrawn from the IPEF. Okay, so this is there. So this is a US-led initiative over there on the same part, and then we have the Eastern Economic Forum. Okay, so Tamil Nadu's new breakfast scheme in schools. So theme explainer on the same. I want to go a bit fast now. Okay. Shan militancy says Azad at Kashmir rally, right? So, okay, why is this? Why have I highlighted this? There is nothing unusual about this. Uh, what we look at, when we look at the Kashmir problem, it's not just about maintaining law and order. That is, militancy is there and you send security forces, kill militants. It is not the end of solution because more and more militants are coming. We have to look at the political solution. And that political solution will come with the leadership, political discourse, they form opinions, and they tell the youth to shun violence. So that will lead to sustained normalcy in the valley. So not by means of force, but by means of political processes. Political processes means building a consensus, building an opinion in favor of normalcy. That is important. That military cannot do it. Next news. Why can't economic criteria be used for quota? Again, Telegram and this thing I've shared. This is very important viewpoint. So basically, E103rd Amendment Act, Constitutional Amendment Act, provides for reservation, 10% reservation for the economically weaker sections. Thing is, it is only for economically weaker sections. So if a person is from a higher caste also, they can get reservation. So the judge says, like this thing is being heard challenged in the court. So the judge is being asked, judge is asking basically, what is the problem? Why are you opposing this? Why can't economic criteria be used for quota? Let me correct this. Why can't economic criteria alone be used for quota? That is a better this thing because economic criteria is already being used. So why not alone? So this is an interesting viewpoint. It says that there are many ways, there are many affirmative actions for benefiting people. We can provide them direct income also, like for farmers, 6,000 rupees are being provided, Kisan Samman Nidhi, so that scheme is there. So we have anti-poverty measures, so that is there. But reservation is basically a tool for bringing the backward classes, backward groups, which are normally like, let's say, transgenders. So transgenders or scheduled caste. So these are the people who need representation in government. Now, we all know transgenders, a lot of difficulties they have, right, in normal mainstream. And there is biases in the society, in the governance also. So if there is a reservation that says, okay, fine, 5% of the posts will be filled by transgender community, it has to be done. There will be transgenders who are very well off, but socially they will be backwards. I'm on purpose giving the example of transgender community because their social status is very, very low, but some of them are economically well off, but yet it's unaccepted, right? It's a problem. Socially, that thing is there. So reservation allows for mainstreaming, allows for representation. So it's one of the more extreme ways of affirmative action. So this thing should only be for the basis of social aspect. So from the caste perspective or from gender perspective, that time this reservation should be there. Otherwise, should not be there. And actually, that was the viewpoint of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also. So when the constitution debates were going on for, I've written the wrong spelling, Ambedkar. Yeah, so B.R. Ambedkar. So when the debate on reservation was going on, so he said that, like debate on caste versus caste. So class is something that is based on one's earnings, middle class, lower middle, upper class, right? So class based on one's income. Your class can keep changing based on how much money you get, but caste sticks with you. It's reserved. It will always be with you. So he said that, like, I may be very well off, I may have written the constitution, maybe I'm an exception also, but will somebody like to have a meal with me? No. So that's a caste. People may be well off, but caste, the social status will always be down. So that representation should be there. There are these challenges that have to be addressed. That's the viewpoint actually. And it's surprising actually the court is saying why can't economic criteria be used, because the court itself said that economic criteria alone cannot be the criteria for quota. This is Supreme Court views only. So the social perspective is a must. So this basically violates doctrine of basic structure also of the constitution. So under judicial review, it can be struck down. Okay, the breakfast scheme should not be counted as a freebie. So that's where I got the idea. Okay. Modi in Samarkand, capital of Uzbekistan, for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So again, SEO, pros and cons. What does India gain out of? There is hardly any cons, but yeah, what does India gain by the membership at the SEO? So that is the thing. And yes, one more thing is that Xi Jinping and Narendra Modi will meet for the first time since the LSE standoff. Okay, wearing hijab is an expression of self, right? So again, I've shared this on my this thing, so there you can see it. Okay, next one, PM bats for greener automobile sector. Okay, fine, we all want greener automobile, we want greener economy. So what would that mean? So this, not interested. What does this mean? What could it mean? So automobile manufacturing becoming more efficient, so wasting less fuel. So that is one thing. Automobile being made keeping in mind environment in mind. So electric vehicles, e-mobility, waste management. Again, that is their greener side, right? So yeah, so self-sufficiency also in this thing. So that was one of the points that he mentioned. But then how is self-sufficiency green? That I don't know. For me, green is green resources being used. Okay, Putin see hail great power talks, great power ties at SEO talks. So basically here they are condemning, here they condemned the West, especially US, etc., on imposing sanctions and trying to manage or manipulate their economies. So it's a critical this thing on the West. And Xi and Putin brothers, I mean, good friends these days. Okay. And let's come to the economic section. So Fitch cuts fiscal year 23 India growth outlook to why? Because fine, so GDP thing will come down, stock market should come down today. So we are 7% because of the high inflation. So high inflation, how is it bad? We have discussed this earlier. So one is cost of living increases. Cost of living increases, maybe future more salaries have to be given. Cost of inputs increases for the companies. So this is all cost of inputs and cost of living increases. Less money for consumption. So not good for the economy, not good for the demand of the economy. Okay, next, monitor financial sector risks for timely action. Why is the finance minister saying this? So I'm just concerned over this. FSDC reviews early warning signals, centers preparedness. That's all we need. What is FSDC? It is Financial Stability and Development Council. And what does it do? So it is an apex level body. Idea is to create a super regulatory body mooted by Raghuram Rajan in 2008. So what does it do? Who all are the members? I think that will give us a clarity. Super regulatory body means other regulators are also there. So idea is that financial stability is not just a domain of RBI or something government, but there are many regulators. They should come on board and there should be consensus on them. So we have Reserve Bank of India. You can see the members, right? Finance Minister of India, and these are the members. So this can be asked in your pre. If you want, you can take a screenshot or it's there on the wiki page. Yeah. Then it says, besides this, finance minister is talking about G20 presidency. So during this tenure of India's presidency, India should work with other countries to bring in financial stability. So cooperation in the realm of finance. So that should be done. Then she also talks about a common KYC for all financial services. So that will also ease of doing business. Right, so this basically covers the daily news analysis. I want to keep it short, slightly longer if I know. So this is it. So we'll try to do this better. Okay, so see you on Monday then. Bye-bye, all the best.